You're listening to Get Hired Up, the podcast for next-level executives and board nominees, the fun and informative podcast with host Maureen Farmer, CEO and founder of Westgate Executive Branding and Career Consulting. Westgate is a 100% independent premier executive branding and career services firm for high-profile leaders who are serious about navigating the hidden job market to get hired up. And we especially love helping successful executives make exciting career moves that let them be leading heroes at home, not just at the office. So if any of these challenges are ahead for you, visit us at westgatecareercoaching.com.
This is Maureen Farmer, and I am the CEO and founder of Westgate Executive Branding. It is my pleasure to welcome Tommy Breedlove today to speak with me. And Tommy is a Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling author of the book Legendary and business, relationship, and mindset coach who is a regular featured keynote speaker at global events. Tommy started his 20-year corporate career at one of the largest financial consulting firms in the world and eventually became a shareholder, the international practice leader, and a member of the board of directors for one of the largest public accounting and financial firms in the Southeast United States. At the top of his career, Tommy experienced a transformational moment, inspiring him to walk away from the corporate world to change his life and follow his true calling. Tommy now serves clients and audiences everywhere by empowering them to build and live legendary lives. Love that, legendary lives. He guides people to discover a life of significance while building a lasting legacy. The simple tools he shares shows them how to work in their zone of brilliance, obtain financial freedom, and live with meaning and balance. The goal is to help everybody to become the person they've always wanted to be. When Tommy isn't speaking or serving his clients, he enjoys traveling the world, hiking, and spending quality time with his wife and 2 dogs. So Tommy, welcome.
Maureen, that's quite the introduction. Thank you so much. I am super grateful to be here, super honored, and I've enjoyed our conversation thus far off air. So I'm just so excited to do this with you today.
Well, the feeling is mutual. So Tommy, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing lately and what your zone of brilliance is?
Yeah, I'm super thankful to be working in not only my zone of brilliance, but also I feel like I get paid to do my purpose. And there's no better feeling, because every day I feel like I'm not going to work and completely fulfilled. And I feel like deep down into my soul that I'm making impact. So things that I'm excited about right now, of course, we have the best-selling book that I believe is a necessity these days and not a luxury. Telling people how to live their lives, like regain time, find more purpose, build a greater network, but also, how do we get more money and financial freedom, but also how do we conquer the inner game, more self-respect, more self-confidence, more emotional health, more mental health, getting that voice out of our head that says all of these terrible things. And we all have that, right? Including myself. And so what we've created that I'm super excited about, we're creating a women's movement in 2022, but for the last 3 years, we've created this men's movement, and it's in a format of retreats, conferences, and a mastermind. And what our core principles are is we believe that it all starts with ourselves first, because we can't be great leaders, be great men, be great humans if we don't work on the inner game. And so we start with ourselves, and I'm talking about building our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual muscles so that we're rock solid. We stand with confidence, we stand with courage, but we're also kind, empathetic, good people, not only to ourselves, but to the outside world. And this movement is designed to get these ambitious, driven men to not only work on themselves first so that they can lead, be better fathers, be better husbands, be better people, be better leaders out in their communities, but we also bring like-minded men together to connect, because what we crave is connection. Mm-hmm. And that's what's made COVID so darn hard, is the isolation of it. Mm-hmm. And we crave this connection. We don't have all the answers, and we want to be around other people who are working on their inner game. And as a result of 1 and 2, all of these wonderful business opportunities, the network, the relationships with their friends, the relationship with their wives and kids. They just become great, holistic, and I'll just dare to say legendary men. And so we've created this world-class men's movement of building great leaders, men, husbands, and fathers. And we're just super excited in 2022 to launch we figured we'd screw it all up on the men's side first, but we haven't screwed up. It's actually grown really, really quite well, and it's flourishing, and I think it's something that's needed out in this world. And we're going to start the women's movement in 2022. So I'm super excited about that as well.
That is fantastic. I love the inner game. And I agree with you. I think everyone suffers from that saboteur, the imposter syndrome, absolutely everyone. And it seems to me that when individuals are, they're ambitious, they want to do their best work, and sometimes they're following sort of um, the same patterns time and time again. So they go from one organization and they're not happy there. They go to the next organization or business, whatever it might be, and they have the same experience. And I feel in that way, people struggle and they suffer because they think that there's something inherently wrong with them when in fact they haven't been able to really identify what their core values are perhaps, or to your point about the inner game, what's important to them, and using those values to make decisions about what teams they work with, what types of organizations they work with. Would you agree?
Well, I'm a big fan of personal accountability. So the only thing consistent in that particular story is that person keeps going from place to place. So there's something that they need to lean in and work on. And so I'm a huge personal accountability guy. And so I believe that if you find the closest mirror, there lies the problem and the solution.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of us have our blind spots. All of us have things that we need to work on. All of us have, and here's the thing, we're not alone. We're
Mm-hmm.
all got our fears. We all have our insecurities. We all have that voice inside our head that says we're not enough in some way. And the key is, what do we do about it? And again, I'm a huge proponent of, if you're not happy or you're not successful or you're worried or you're scared or you haven't achieved some of the things you want in life, again, go find the nearest mirror that is the
Mm-hmm.
problem and solution. Now, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
And so for me, that particular individual who's jumping from job to job and who's not happy, who's not as successful, and who just can't seem to find the right situation, they've got some major blind spots in their particular life that they need to lean in on. Do they need more self-confidence? Do they need more self-respect? Do they need to up their game in a certain skill? Do they need to get that voice inside our head? And all of these things are so super important.
Mm-hmm.
And here's how I like to say it, Maureen. All of these, life is a journey. If we don't exercise, we're going to get out of shape. If we don't eat right, we're going to get overweight. And so the same goes for our emotional, mental, and spiritual muscles.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to work on them every single day to be as strong as we can be, to be as happy as we can be, to be as fulfilled and successful as we need to be. I think you're onto something, though. We also need to discover what our core values and non-negotiables are, but we also need to discover what our purpose is.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of those things make for a holistic, albeit legendary life. And I'm certainly no legend, but I work very hard that when my time is up, hopefully I left the people I touch in this world a little bit better than I found it. But people we can't blame others. It's not the system. It's not a politician. It's not the corporations. They're not, the only thing in control of us is us.
Mm.
And the only thing that we truly have control in is our choices. And I would say to that person, what are you choosing today to be a little bit better than you were yesterday? What are you going to lean into? What are you going to work on? Is it your self-confidence, your self-respect? Is it your leadership? Is it your money skills? Is it your mindset? Is it discovering your purpose? Is it, finding that unconditional love for yourself? I mean, because we all struggle with these things. But the good news is anything that was wired into us can be unwired, and anything that's been done can be undone. And so that's what I would say to that particular. I know that sounds a little harsh, but it's true. And so
No.
that's just something I feel deep down into my core values.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. In fact, I'm on a personal note. a member of my extended family is suffering with an issue, and I believe it's a learned problem. It's a learned issue, and to your point, I think that the type of thinking and core beliefs that are not serving us and keeping us healthy can be changed, can be transformed.
100%. You just, here's the thing, they have to be aware of it.
Yeah.
And here's how you become aware of something. If you're not fulfilled, happy, if you live worried, if you live scared, if you live as a victim, and we're promoting victimhood in the Western world like I've never seen before. It's crazy. If you feel like a victim, or you feel entitled, or you find yourself judging people, or scared, or angry, or insecure, the key is look in the mirror and what are you going to do about it? The only person in the world that can change that is you. Mm-hmm. And anything, again, that is learned behavior, and it comes through it comes through culture, it comes through parenting, it comes through teaching, it comes through religion, it comes through our advertising, it comes through social media. Mm-hmm. But anything that can be learned is unlearned, can be unlearned. Mm-hmm. Anybody, the people who are successful and happy, they work really hard at being successful and happy. Mm-hmm. The people who are unsuccessful and unhappy, they don't do much to change it. And so, again, abundance thinking, happy thinking, successful thinking, empathy, compassion, all of those things are learned skills. Mm-hmm. And again, it's just whether they are aware they need to change, and do they have the intestinal fortitude and grit to do the hard work to be more successful and more happy. So anything that can be learned is unlearned. But that's why so many people don't do it, because change is hard, right? Mm-hmm. We say, who wants to change the world? Everybody raises their hands. Mm-hmm. Well, who wants to change themselves? Not many hands go up. Mm-hmm. And that is the real issue.
But I don't know if it's a matter that they don't want to change, Tommy. I think that they don't know how a lot of times. I don't think that they know how. They may be self-aware enough to know, something is not working here. I'm having the same results time and time again. How do I change it?
Yeah, and you have to start small and think big. So here's the hows. The easiest way to change your personal situation, here's the easiest way, and I'm going to give you some really simple examples.
Mm-hmm, please.
The easiest, quickest way is to take one negative thing out of your life. And let me give you some simple examples. If you don't like the way you're looking or feeling or your health wise, and you're eating chocolate cake every night, or potato chips, or having 16 glasses of wine, whatever your thing is you have to take that out of your life. That is the quickest way to start seeing improvement, is taking away something negative. Maybe it's negative self-talk. Maybe it's bad friends. And by the way, if you hang out with 5 unhappy people, you're going to be unhappy. If you hang out with 5 not successful people, you're not going to be successful. Mm-hmm. If you hang out with 5 drunks, you're going to become a drunk. That's just the truth. Yeah. And so maybe it's eliminating some of the negative people out of your life. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's putting down the phone and social media because it makes you feel bad. And here's a statistic that's frightening. If you are on Twitter more than 3 minutes a day, you're 65% more likely to say you had a bad day. How ridiculous is that?
Yeah.
So the easiest way to change, the first and easiest, is remove something negative out of your life. And I guarantee you, everybody in your audience knows that one thing or one person or one habit they need to remove. Mm-hmm. Here's the second, harder part to change, is self-esteem, confidence are earned, and they are maintained by doing certain reps. And so there's a billion great books and podcasts, including this one out there, to help you be a better human being. And if people who don't, and now they have technology that will literally read you books. So you don't even have to read. Mm-hmm. Just turn off the Amazon, the Netflix, the YouTube for an hour or 2 a day and start learning, whether it's self-development, a book like Legendary, who helps you live a holistic life, not just make a lot of money and be happy, but literally live a holistic life. That's literally what my book is designed to do. And it's simple, easy, executable steps to do that. but you've got to do something different than you did yesterday. So how do you cultivate happiness, love, self-esteem, confidence, and an abundant-minded thinking person? Is you have to add nutrition into your heart, mind, eyes, and ears. And I'm not just talking about what you eat. I'm talking about what you consume. And so listen to great self-development books, business books, books of people that you look up to. That's how you start learning and feeling better. Maybe you need a gratitude practice, so you're thankful for what you do have and all of the blessings in your life and not what you don't have. Maybe you need to start a meditation practice so that you become more proactive and not reactive to life. You become more peace of mind. You become more present with other people, and you become a better listener. Maybe you need to start journaling. I'm in the coaching business. I coach world-class executives all over the world, but guess what I have? A coach to help me with my blind spots, to help me be a better leader and human.
Yeah.
So there's all of these things. You just got to eliminate the negative. And by the way, social media, 24-hour news, and any reality TV, and most of the TV we consume is poison.
Yeah, I agree.
You've got to put in goodness. If you want goodness in your life, you've got to put goodness into your eyes, ears, soul, and in your body.
Yeah, it's got to bring joy or it has to go, Tommy.
Yep. So that's the how. I just gave them the how.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. So Tommy, tell us a little bit about your journey to what you're doing now. I know you had obviously had a career in corporate, 20-year corporate career, in fact. So you have a background in accounting?
Yeah, so I was in, my degree is in accounting, but I was in financial consulting, public accounting, and the mergers and acquisitions world for almost right at close to 20 years, and rose through the ranks. I was an owner, a senior partner, a board of director of a large firm in the Southeast United States, and my financial future was absolutely certain, and it took a lot of courage to walk away at the top of the game.
Oh, I bet. I can only imagine.
Yeah, when you take 60% of your household income away in like 1 second, it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a tribe of believers. So here's the deal, though, is I come from very humble beginnings. I come from a very hardworking part of the United States, but it was also a tough part of the United States. So I grew up in and around a lot of violence and abuse inside and outside the household. And the problem with that is, and I'm going to get to the point of how I walked away and how I got to where I am now. And I was scheduled to be, I had all these scholarships to all these universities, and I was going to be the first person to graduate college in my family. But instead, I became what I hated. I became that abuse. I became that violence. And at 18 years old, I was looking at all these scholarships and finally getting out of the neighborhood and going and doing something with my life. First one in my family, by the way. I committed a violent crime. And I was looking at 7 years in prison, and I thought my life was over. Luckily, it was dropped to a much lesser charge. And I spent my 19th birthday incarcerated. A great male mentor appeared in my life. African-American gentleman decided to cross racial lines and decided to give me some great male mentorship. And with some personal accountability, his guidance, I got out of that, dusted myself off, went to work for a factory during the day and put myself through school at night. Ended back at the university. And I literally went from a jail cell to Deloitte in 3 years.
Wow.
And it was just by dusting myself off. The problem is I thought money, success, working harder than everybody, and just competing hard against everybody was going to bring me happiness and fulfillment. And I'm a money guy, by the way. If people tell you that money's not important, Steve Harvecker says run from them because they're broke. So I don't want anybody to think that I don't believe money's important, but I believe money is a scorecard and it's just a mirror. And if you are a giant ass, money's going to make you an even bigger ass. If you want to make great impact in this world and do great things with your money and really money will help you do that. And I'm a big firm believer that people of purpose need to make a lot of money so that they can make great impact. But anyway, getting back to the story, at 36 years old, I had the corner office, the shiny suit, the cufflinks, the watch, the car. On the outside, everybody said, this guy's got it going on, and I had made it to junior partner at a very young age. But inside, I never dealt with those insecurities, those fears, the not good enoughs that were basically beaten into me as a child. And so it was my responsibility to stop living that story I was telling myself and start living my life, start taking control of who I wanted to be and where I wanted to go and what I believed in. But the problem is I was unconscious and unaware of that. And when the money and the power and the deals didn't fulfill me, I turned to darkness. And at 36 years old, I found myself literally lying in a ditch in downtown Atlanta, wondering how I got there. I was probably doing some multi-million-dollar auditor deal the week before, and here I am in a ditch because I just was lost, insecure, scared, and turning to all the dark things to make myself happy because I was just completely unhappy. And so at that moment in that ditch, I decided to participate in my own rescue and start rebuilding myself, discover who I am, where I'm going, and who's coming with me, start working on my emotions, start working on my mental game, start working on my spiritual game to be the best person and just to find out who Tommy really was. And in those 3 years, I never wanted to leave the financial world. I literally had no intentions of ever walking because the money was just so darn good. But over 3 years, when I decided to just figure out who I am, I literally went, Maureen, and I'm not joking. I'm not kidding about anything I'm about to tell you. In 3 short years, I went from working 60 to 80 hours a week down to about 35. My money doubled. My network 10x'd in all the right way. I got rid of all the negative people and just started networking and finding friends and business colleagues in all the right ways. My relationship with my wife became the best it ever had. My happiness, my confidence, my fulfillment, my peace of mind, my stress basically went away in those 3 years because I spent every moment in the mornings working on my inner game, working on my heart muscle, my mind muscle, my soul muscle. I was working with coaches. I was working with great mentors. And in those 3 years, I went from junior partner to senior partner to elected to the board of directors at 39 years old. Most of the people were in their 60s and became a major owner of the firm just by being a good person and working on that inner game. Here's where the massive transition happened. All of these entrepreneurs, bankers, lawyers, executive type men in my network started reaching out to me and say, hey man, you're just as successful as you've ever been. You're working a lot less. You're happy. Your marriage is good. What drug are you taking, brother? Because I want it.
Yes.
And I said, it's just hard work, brother. And you've got to prioritize yourself first. And
Yeah.
through all of that informal coaching and mentoring of these great executive and upcoming executive entrepreneur, or lawyer banker type men, I was like, there's something here. And I decided to walk away at the top of the game and create this legendary life movement where we run masterminds, we run conferences and retreats to help men be better in all phases of their life. And when I saw the formula start transforming not only men, but also women, because I work with women on a one-on-one basis, I was like, how do we bring this to the world? And that's when the book Legendary, and I'm super thankful it became a Wall Street Journal and USA Today bestseller, but it's a simple playbook. And these things are not rocket science. If you do X, Y, and Z every single day, you will find success. You will find more time. You will find purpose. You will find better relationships, and you will find happiness and self-confidence. You just got to do the work. And it has just exploded in all the right ways. But it did take a lot of courage to walk away. I'm not going to lie, because my financial security was set.
Oh, absolutely. It's been an amazing conversation. So Tommy, given the transformation that you've encountered and the wonderful work that you're doing in positivity and the world of abundance, what has surprised you most during that journey so far?
What has surprised me most is that most people won't do what it takes to find success and happiness in life. It's sad. And I've had to concentrate. I used to chase the people who I know needed it the most. But the problem is if they don't want it, and change and personal accountability and looking in the mirror is quite difficult. And our politicians are all over the world are telling you that you're going to be okay. We've got you. Just follow us. And that is simply not true. And our social media, promotes envy. It promotes division, as our news. So we're constantly overwhelmed with shame, division, fear, guilt, all of those. That's what it's designed to do, because that's what sells advertising.
Right, right.
And what shocks me is the people who need this work the most don't do it. And it makes me very sad. And it used to make me very angry. But if you don't want success and happiness and fulfillment and better relationships in your life, if you don't want more confidence, and you're not willing to do the work, that makes me quite sad, because this is a very, very preciously short life. I don't want people to live life with regrets. I want them to experience life. I want them to experience love and happiness. And I want them to experience great financial success and live a life with purpose. The problem is that 90% of the world won't do the work, and that's why 90% of the world is that 90%. And I'm not talking about the people who were born with wealth and happiness. I'm talking about the people who go out there and work for it, like me and my network, who work every single day to make impact, who work and this is a journey. I have really bad days. I get scared. I get worried. We're not alone. We all have it. But I work my butt off with coaches and mentors. I run masterminds. I'm in a mastermind. I'm a coach. I work with coaches. And so I'm constantly sharpening the pencil to be stronger emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. It makes me sad that the people who need this the most don't do the work. That's been the most surprising. But the people who want it, I'll stand next to them every single day. And I'm no guru. I'm no sage on the stage. I have to walk the walk. I have my insecurities. I have my challenges. I have my demons that I deal with every single day.
Yeah.
And I just get up and put one foot in the forward, and I work my butt off to be better. And it has just manifested in, what I thought was financial success in a former life. We've 10x that. What I thought was happiness in a former life, I'm happier now than I've ever been. I'm more self-confident. And I have strong boundaries. I say no often. And I think one no is worth 1,000 yeses. And so here's the surprising thing, and it's kind of sad. It sounds negative, but it's not. People who need it the most just won't do the work. And they're just going to they're going to come to the end with regrets and like woulda, shoulda, couldas. And that is just a non-negotiable for me. So I'll say that, Maureen.
When I was in Dublin a couple of years ago, I was on a cab going to the hotel, and on the side of a building, I noticed this huge sign that said, "Don't wish for it, work for it."
Amen.
And I've never forgotten that. It made such an impression on me. And like you, in terms of coaching, I've had many coaches, and again, I have a coach working on masterminds. I think also mentorship is so important.
Huge.
And I don't think it needs to be a formalized process. You can reach out for mentorship to anyone. And I think that a lot of people who are in the corporate world feel as though there has to be a program or that somebody has to make a referral. I think that if you approach someone authentically and ask for some time, most people do want to help. And I really believe that to be true. So besides getting your wonderful book called Legendary, what one or two things could a person listening to this conversation do to move the needle? I know you talked about removing one negative thing. What else might they do to kind of move in the right direction to abundance?
Here's what I'd say. The first thing I would say, and I want to go back to something you said earlier, Maureen, real quick, because I think it was a powerful point. People do want to help. However, this is the key to mentorship and networking. Are you ready? I mean,
I'm ready.
It's a magical formula.
Okay, I'm ready.
You must be a net giver.
Yes.
People hate net takers and energy vampires.
Yes,
so
I agree with that.
Whatever you want, whether it's mentorship or happiness, start with giving. So that's one thing I would say. Be a net giver and not a net taker. So what would I say to these people? The first thing I would say is so many of us think we're alone with our deep, dark desires, our insecurities, the voice inside of our head that says, what if they figure out I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm not enough, or I'm not valuable, I'm not something. The first thing I want your audience to hear is they're not alone. Everybody has that. And so we need to cut off the nonsense. And so the first thing I want them to realize is they're not alone. The second thing I want them to do is participate in their own rescue. Go find the mirror. Therein lies the problem and solution. The third thing I want them to understand is that the only thing in their control and power is their choices, nothing else, their choices. Make a choice to do something different than you did yesterday. Listen to a great podcast, read a great business book, read Legendary, which helps you, in all facets of your life. Start inputting into your life some nutrition that feeds your heart, mind, and soul, something that makes you better, and start walking the walk. Just change one thing. What is the one thing that you need to remove from your life that will help your life 10x? Now, what's the one thing that you need to add in your life? Is it reading more? Is it coaching? Is it a gratitude practice? Is it you need to learn a particular skill? You don't understand money, investing. There's a billion podcasts and books out there to help you build stronger in that way. But here at the end of the day, you must participate in your own rescue. You must choose to do one thing tomorrow different than you did today. Maybe it's going for a 5-minute walk that becomes a 10-minute walk. Maybe there's so many different things out there, but the best investment you'll ever make by far is in yourself. You've got to invest in you, and you've got to work on your inner game. You've got to work on your outer game, and you've got to do you first, because you can't lead, love, and matter if you don't lead, love, and matter to yourself. And so that's what I would tell your audience. And by the way, when you start walking taller, head up, shoulders back, you literally start vibrating. You start living your life with courage. You start living your life with gratitude. You start living your life with confidence. And it takes time. These are muscles. You got to build the muscles, just like going to the gym. And you must be patient, because there is no quick fixes. Any quick fix in life is a sham. It's a scam. It doesn't happen. And so you have to do the hard work, but it's compound interest. So in 365 days, if you do one thing different every day and you do it consistently, it will pay dividends in all facets of your life. So that's what I would tell your audience to do.
Well, that is absolutely transformational and very powerful, Tommy. Thank you so much for joining me today, and it's been, again, a pleasure. How can we find the book Legendary, and how can we find you if we want to reach out to you?
Totally. So the book Legendary is it doesn't matter if you're in Canada, the United States, UK, Australia, really the Western world, it's everywhere. So it's in Audible format, it's in electronic format, hardback and softcover. It's at your favorite bookstore. So choose your favorite bookstore. I don't want to say which one because they get angry when I do that, but it is everywhere. And if my Southern United States accent doesn't bother you, I will read it to you because I'm the one who reads the Audible book. So
lovely. And so
it's everywhere.
Okay.
And if you want to find me, I'm constantly putting out life hacks and business hacks and goodness. I put goodness out there in the world, not negativity. You can find me on LinkedIn. I put all of my stuff on there. You can go to my website, www.tommybreedlove.com. I'll send you daily what I call the Legendary Minute, which is always something to make your life a little bit better each day.
Yes, I'm on the list.
If you're
great.
an Instagram person,
yeah.
Find me on Instagram at Tommy Breedlove. We just put so much love, light, goodness, help, guidance, wisdom, and it's not just mine. It's mine from a lot of people. And so TommyBreedlove.com to sign up for our newsletter. Find me on Instagram at Tommy Breedlove, and you can also find me on LinkedIn. So just reach out and, again, do something different than you did yesterday.
That's a wonderful message. Thank you so much, Tommy, for spending your time with me today. It's been such a lovely experience, and I hope to get to do it again.
Maureen, you are absolutely the best.
Thank you.
Have an epic day.
You too. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Get Hired Up with Maureen Farmer. If you enjoyed the show today, please tell a friend and write a review for us. For customized resources to help you get hired up to your next C-level position, visit westgatecareercoaching.com.